Hello, everyone. Welcome to GNU according to CD, that is Government of National Unity. So I thought that I'm going to take 2 days off, Thursday and Friday off, because yeah, it is happening, and I also have other things that I'm quite busy with. And I thought, let me share this story. It's not even a story. I don't even know what to call it. So here I am busy at somewhere. I'll just say somewhere, and there's these two Nigerians that are having a conversation. The conversation basically it's more about they're fooling each other. Let me put it that way. Things are getting intense in South Africa. South Africans are calling for Nigerians to leave, and the government is actually warning Nigerians to start packing up those that are illegal in South Africa. So one of the Nigerians is like, "Oh, me, I am fine. I don't have to pack my bags because I'm now a South African citizen. I've been a South African citizen since 2016, I think he said." And so the other one is asking him, "Hey, so how did you do that?" He's like, "Well, I've been in South Africa now for 14 years." And I knew he was going to say he came to South Africa for the FIFA World Cup and never left. I was like, this I got to hear. So I'm busy pretending to be doing other things while this side I'm being nosy because I'm trying to hear exactly how these people are actually planning on staying in a country they call xenophobic. Not only they want to stay in South Africa, but they want to become South African citizens on top of that. How ironic is that? Can the world take them serious that South Africa is a xenophobic country? Anyways, we are not there before everybody starts saying other things. So this guy continues to give this one advice. The first question they asked him, "So how long you been in South Africa?" He's like, "Well, this is my 12th month. September would have been his 12th month in South Africa." So this one is like, "Oh, okay. Are your papers in order?" He says, "No, I came here on a visiting visa. And so it expired, well, very long time ago. The first month he was here in South Africa. And so he never went back because it's like Japa type of situation." So this guy advises him like, you need to get yourself a South African girl. These South African girls, the ones that love money. You see, go for the ones that love money. If the ones that love money don't want to marry you, go to the rural. If you go to the rurals of South Africa and then you just make a friendship with one stupid girl, he puts it that way. Make friendships with one stupid girl and then slowly but surely make sure that she is well taken care of. You buy her everything that she wants, move her from the rural and bring her to the city. And then once you have her in the city, you are in control. He advises his friend. And then after that, maybe 6 months later, you tell her you are going somewhere with her. And then when you go somewhere with her, you already made arrangements with one of the Home Affairs official. The Home Affairs official would have given you a form. You bring that form home and you make a sign and say, "Well, we're opening a joint bank account, what, to hide the government logo, and that these papers are, what do you call this, marriage registration." And then all that you need is a signature. And once a signature has been put down in the account that you open in her name, put as much as money that she's never seen in her life before, because that money is the one that's going to make her stay. And then after that, submit those forms, and then you stay in South Africa for the next 5 years. And once you've stayed in South Africa for the next 5 years, remember you are married. And South Africa wants you to prove that indeed you are married to this woman before you are given citizenship. And then after 5 years, now we're talking around 2029, 2028-ish or so. And then from there, you go back to the same person who gave you those forms, and that person will make you a full South African citizen. I'm listening and I'm like, wow. So this is how these people are doing things. By the way, just so you know, the current system that is being put together by the Minister of Home Affairs, Dr. Leon Schreiber, it's going to automatically revoke these sort of marriages. These sort of marriages. And what do I mean by these sort of marriages? is that when you got married to a South African citizen, what was your immigration status at the time? So, like this guy who says, I've been married to a South African citizen since 2016, no, since 2010, and in 2016 he became a full South African citizen. Yeah, that guy's marriage is also going to be revoked on the grounds that when he married a South African citizen, he was already illegal in South Africa. Whatever marriage that he has with a South African woman, it is null and void according to the new system that is coming into place. So same goes with this guy who may actually do what this guy had advised him to do. He's wasting his time because such a marriage is going to quickly be flagged. Immediately he tries this with this particular lady. And so I'm listening and I'm listening and I'm listening, and I want to jump in, but I'm thinking, no, let me not give them ideas and also kind of like remind them that, oh, by the way, your marriage as well, it's over. So now this guy says, anyways, I'm a South African citizen, full South African citizen. I even vote, he says. He votes in South Africa, he says. And I remember when I was going to vote in my suburb, and in front of me, there were about 4 or 5 Nigerians. I remember going, wow, Nigerians are voting in South Africa now, but they were holding South African IDs. And I thought when you are naturalized, your naturalization is going to reflect on the green barcoded ID. It's going to say Nigerian, South African. And if it says that you don't have the privilege to vote in South Africa, you only enjoy privileges and rights that South Africans enjoy, except for voting. In order for you to vote in South Africa, you need to have renounced your citizenship. But I don't think South Africa requires that. And I don't know. I'm just thinking as well that according to our immigration law, does it say you need to renounce your citizenship to assume the full South African citizenship where you are even able to vote? But I assumed that, okay, clearly these IDs are stolen, like identity theft, because there are a lot of South Africans who, when they went to try voting these previous elections, their IDs were flagged to have been duplicated and therefore they couldn't vote. But whoever stole their ID was able to vote just this year alone. And clearly they are not South African citizens. Anyways, this guy continues to tell this guy that, yeah, and then make sure that you impregnate this woman so that if things don't go right, at least you are able to come and stay in South Africa for 2 years from the family visa. By the way, the family visa itself is being reviewed. In fact, it's not even reviewed. It's overhauled because it's being abused mostly by Nigerians. When they realize that, okay, I'm not getting the citizenship, they impregnate the South African woman to get a child. And once you have a child as a foreign national, you are granted what you call family visa. And the family visa allows you to stay in South Africa for 2 years. And then he says, if that doesn't go right, then follow the correct channels once you have a baby with this stupid local girl, as he calls her. When they say rural, they say local girl. And then from there, you get that family visa, come now and again to South Africa. But in that 2 years, you are also courting her family and get the family to know you, and then start writing that stupid letter to the uncles intending to marry her. This is in the 2 years, by the way. And then pay your lobola and all, follow all the right channels all the way to you get married. And then once you are married and all of this is proven, then at some point South Africa is going to make you a South African citizen. I'm like, oh, gosh. That marriage still is going to be questionable under the new system. I don't think they understand how difficult it's about to become a South African citizen, even by marriage. And then I keep asking, what kind of a man that leaves his country and then, or let's put it this way, according to the African culture, including religious beliefs, what kind of a man that leaves his mother's house or his parents' house and goes and live with his in-laws? And make it make sense. How is that African? Because it's supposed to be the other way around. And then I think our South African sisters, they need to wake up as well. Do you want to be a South African and continue to be a South African? I mean, forget the first question I just asked. Do you want to be a South African? Because you're already a South African. But do you want to remain a South African citizen? Because if you no longer want to be a South African citizen, then go and marry your husband in her or in his country. That's the law of Africa. And you guys like saying, oh, we are Africans. Yeah, that's also included. It's part of the African law or customary law. Let me put it that way. So I was like, yeah, this conversation. Anyways, I had to leave this being nosy in this conversation because I was done with what I was doing. But I collected enough information to understand exactly what they do here in South Africa, and that is why when you watch this fake marriage show, you have look at the women. Look at the women that has been duped. And most of them, they look exactly what this guy is describing. Dumb. Dumb. Let's not beat about the bushes with this one. They are dumb in most cases. Illiterate. Probably she was taken from the rurals and brought to the city, or they met this Nigerian or Pakistani or whatever the case might be here in Joburg. And they are very specific, by the way. They can tell which one is educated or literate, and the one that is illiterate and would actually take the money because they're desperate. They came to Joburg looking for a job. Instead, they found a man, and this man promised them so much money. And some of them actually do see that money, and they do live in a nice apartment because this Nigerian guy, you know what they do here for business, right? Inverted commas. And then she thinks, oh my goodness, my life has changed. And then she able to send money back home and support the family. Not that this guy doesn't know about it, because they understand our system as black people. The whole black tax thing, they understand it very, very well. And so for her not to see what the real deal behind the scenes, he will just keep pumping her with money. But he disdain her. He doesn't like her. He probably doesn't even sleep with her. Even if he does sleep with her, the one goal and the one goal only is to impregnate her. And once she has a baby, now he knows that, okay, if all goes wrong, then at least I can always apply for family visa. And then I will always be in South Africa, because the family visa simply means that once the family visa is about to expire, all he has to do legally is fly out of South Africa for a day and then fly back to South Africa, and that family visa, it renews itself upon entry. Can you imagine? It renews itself upon entry. That means for the next 2 years, he's going to be in South Africa again. Just before it expires, it flies back to Nigeria for a day, and then upon entry, it renews itself. Yeah, that is why our immigration laws, they are where they are right now. They're overhauled, and then this white paper proposal, I am happy with it, to be honest with you guys. I heard some people saying they are not. I think we're being short-sighted here. Let's see how it pans out, because you can't reject something that you haven't seen it operating yet. And if it's giving South Africa more trouble, then it can always be repealed. People act as if laws cannot be repealed. I am of the view that these new immigration laws, as far as I am concerned, they are okay. They are in the best interest of South Africa. Until maybe there's a loophole that pops, it can always be closed. Like, seriously, I think we are so used to rejecting and resisting change without giving it a chance first. Honestly speaking, because yeah, these guys are going to try and find loopholes. They are going to do that. But let me tell you something, the new white paper, it is actually revoking. In fact, their marriages are null and void. That means whatever South African citizenship that they're busy bragging about, it's all gone with the new immigration laws. And I'm happy with that. I really am. Now we need to make sure that a South African girl that marries a foreign national, a male foreign national, she goes and marries him there where he comes from. And she must take his citizenship if she wants to take his citizenship. And the only time she can remain a South African citizen with voting rights is if she marries him in out of community property, like a prenup or some sort. Then she remains a South African citizen. She'll be double barreled surname. But the man can't double barrel his surname. He remains his nationality and he has no voting rights in South Africa or any other rights and benefits that he thinks he's going to get out of marrying a South African citizen. So I think maybe this is what we need to start talking to our girl children about, because clearly they are the ones that are putting South Africa in a bit of danger. And I don't think it's going to last forever anyways, because these laws are being changed. Anyways, guys, I thought let me share this ngosi that I was listening between two Nigerians, two blind men misleading each other. And of course, the other one took everything that the other one said, and he was so grateful about it. And I was like, if you only knew what's going on at Home Affairs right now, you would cry tears, including the one that's giving you this advice. There will be crying tears. And then I foresee a lot of court applications coming from Nigerians that were South African citizens and did not follow the customary laws of the country, including the immigration laws of the country. They are going to be running to court because that's how desperate these guys are of being South African citizens. The so-called xenophobic country, the so-called Afrophobic country. And some of them are still flying into South Africa as we speak, to a xenophobic South Africa, Afrophobic South Africa, and want to be South African citizens. One of the details that was said to the one that was being given advice by the Nigerian who's been in South Africa since 2010, he says that back home he is married. Wouldn't Home Affairs pick that up? This guy is like, Home Affairs in South Africa don't care. They don't do due diligence. They are not going to go into Nigeria and check if you are married. As long as you are coming to Home Affairs to get married, they are okay with that. They're not going to ask for any other questions. You just produce what you need to produce and you are married. Just wait for 5 years and then you are a full South African citizen. Then you can divorce this B, he says, after another 5 years and bring your wife to South Africa. And then you are a South African citizen now. You can marry your Nigerian wife in South Africa. She waits 5 years, she becomes a South African citizen. Many Nigerians have done that. And then this reminded me of this current case that is going on of a fake Nigerian doctor and a fake lawyer. Remember that story that was doing the round last week? I deliberately did not do that story because, I mean, these sort of stories are overdone already. We overspeak about them. But it turns out that this fake doctor married a South African woman, and then he became a South African citizen and then divorced her and then brought his wife to South Africa, who's a pharmacist in Nigeria. And she tried to do pharmacy here in South Africa, obviously illegally. Now the Nigerian wife says this is a xenophobic trial, she calls it. Yeah, that couple. So he married the South African woman. For 5 years, he stayed with her. He became a South African citizen. The moment he became a South African citizen, he went and collected his Nigerian wife, married her here in South Africa as a South African citizen. And now this Nigerian woman is now a South African citizen as well. I think Home Affairs need to do that due diligence by making sure that a Nigerian that marries a South African back home is not registered to as a married person back there. I don't know how they're going to do this. But there is a lot of crime that is being committed in this sector, the marriage in particular. And some of these guys are even pastors. Like this guy was being given advice. He's a whole pastor. Yep, a whole pastor, people. The so-called man of God. Hi, people. Anyways, let's see each other a little bit later. Thank you so much for listening to the story. Please do not leave this video without liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. And thank you so much for the super thanks, guys. May you be abundantly blessed. I highly appreciate it. See you next time. Goodbye.